Guys, you're welcome to Just for Women Africa. My name is Olalekan Amusa, the founder of Just for Women Africa. And today we are at Cuppa Cappuccino. I remember years back, I was my cousin and we had a bet if we could say Cuppa Cappuccino 20 times. He or she gets 100 CDs. That was back then. 100 CDs was a lot of money. I still don't have money today. Yeah. And today we happen to be with the founder of Cuppa Cappuccino, an industry which has been around for 26 years. That's a long time.
It is, yes, for a business.
Yes, it has. All right, before we start off with the show, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment and leave a like, and tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women in Africa. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so can you tell us about yourself?
What can I say? I would describe myself as a serial entrepreneur and a creative, and I'm also a single mom.
Okay.
So I would say those are the three things going on in my life right now.
Okay. All right, so can you tell us how you started off Cuppa Cappuccino?
I come back from the UK. I came back from the UK in 1994. And my mother was a baker. My mother was a teacher who became a baker. And my mother had a little cafe in Accra. It's a very busy cafe called Cool Corner Cafe. And at the time, I really hated working there. But then I was young. But when I came back from the UK, I realized that it was difficult to find places where you could go and be by yourself. Because I had an experience where I'd gone to a cafe or a restaurant and the waiter kept asking, are you alone? Are you waiting for somebody? And, you know, people were staring. And I realized that we didn't have a culture of single dining. You know, you had to go with somebody or you had to go with a friend. So I think the whole idea of Cuppa Cappuccino was to create somewhere that if you wanted to be by yourself, you would be welcome. And if you also wanted to be with people, you would also be okay.
Okay.
So that, I think, I would say that was the seed of, you know, like this business, like a community cafe where people can just walk down the road and grab a tea or coffee. If you wanted to get out of the house, it would be a place where you would go and still feel at home, but realize that you're outside your house as well.
Okay.
So I would say that was the seed of the business.
The business. Okay, let's throw back. You did mention that you went to a cafe and they were asking, are you coming alone? Was it an issue because you were a woman? Or do you think they've asked the same question because it was a man sitting alone? Or you think it was just a matter of, like you said, the culture? Yeah,
I mean, I think in those days, I think even in Ghana, you didn't find that girls in groups kind of went out, you know, maybe, you know, to a club or, you know, it was very much, if you're going out, somebody had to take you out.
Okay.
And you couldn't just go out by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And in that particular space, it was very much either you came in a group or you came on a date. Even though it was a popular lunchtime space, that was kind of the culture. So I think the waiter must have found it very odd that I was, female and by myself. And I know even around that time, there was a hotel called Shangri-La.
Yes, I remember Shangri-La.
Yeah, and I remember going there one evening to pick up a pizza, and the security guy stopped me.
Really?
Because it was late. You know, my friend was in the car waiting for me, and I was just picking up the pizza, and he stopped me because it was late, and I was female and by myself. So, yeah, it was a time.
Okay. And we were talking about, this was probably 94, 95? Back in the 90s?
Yes, in the 90s. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's quite interesting. Okay, so with that, with what happened, you were like, okay, you know, to set up your own business.
Yeah, I think that was, and also I'd come back from the UK, like I said, I was living with my parents, and it was very difficult for me because I'd had a very independent life for 6 years, and all of a sudden I was back, you know, in my parents' house. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you had to also follow their rules. And I think the space became also for me like if I wanted to get out of the house, mm-hmm. my business became my haven.
Definitely.
And I think what that does is then you're always trying to create something that when you come to, you feel good. And you know, by God's grace, I think when people come here, they get that feeling that if you really want to get away and you come here, there's something about the space that gives you a sense of, you know, I'm not home, but I feel at home. You know, if you understand what I'm saying. So I've always sort of tried to work within the space, try to move things around, try to add things. It's something that I'm very conscious of, that it was a haven for me. It was somewhere that if my parents were getting on my nerves, this was where I would come and sort of, you know, just breathe and just, you know, talk to my clients and be happy. You know, it was my happy place. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to start a Cuppa Cappuccino. I'm sure you guys know who won the bet. Anyway, so has this always been the original location?
Yes.
Or you started? Okay.
Yes.
When you started off in 1990?
1997. We started here.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And
it was much smaller. It was just that little space.
Okay.
And then the front. These are all additions. These all came as the years went by, and we realized we had to expand because we didn't have enough seating, and the area itself was changing. When I started, it was very residential. Okay. And then we realized that it was changing. It was becoming more commercial. Banks were coming in. People were renting their homes out to companies. And then the German Developmental Fund opened a really big office up the road. So we realized that we're here. I mean, this would be a possible place for them to come for lunch. And indeed, you know, when we expanded, you know, the days where we wouldn't have enough seating for clients, we were that busy.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So you started off in 1997.
Yes.
What has been some of the challenges starting off a business like yours back then and now?
I would say, which is always the question and the answer, I would say finding the right people.
In terms of staff or clients?
Finding the right staff or clients. I think when I started, I initially thought that I was going to be attracting more of an expatriate crowd because the coffee shop concept was quite new. Most people were used to like bars and like what we call spots, where people would set up a few tables outside their house and sell beers and kebabs and still make good money. And that seemed to be the trend, or you would go to like the big hotels to go and have a coffee or a tea. But like coffee houses or coffee shops were not, I don't want to say that we were one, but I'd like to think we were one of the first, like privately owned coffee shops in the country. But then I did realize that my Ghanaian clientele held the business together, because with the expatriates, they're in and out. Okay. They'll come in for a few years and then they're gone. But your Ghanaian clientele, they're here. Even if they're young, they'll get married, they'll have kids, they'll bring their kids here, the kids like the place. It becomes like a beautiful cycle. So from a clientele side, you know, I would say that I may have got it wrong in the beginning, where I thought that that was my main market. But then it's also been an issue of HR, of just finding the right people who understand what you're trying to do, who understand the striving for excellence, and the fact that, you know, if you see something on the floor, you need to pick it up. You shouldn't wait to be told. You know, people being innovative, coming up with ideas. It's almost like it's just one or two people coming up with ideas and looking at the way forward. Whereas, I guess if I had been somewhere else, not that I want to be somewhere else, I think I may have had a team that would actually drive. They would drive me, because, you know, I'm 53. So even though I understand social media and stuff like that to an extent, I feel like a younger team should be able to actually drive that, you know, and it's just challenging.
It's actually okay. Talking about challenges, I don't know whether, I think I was watching a video or I read an article where you said that in the beginning you felt like just quitting and going back to a regular job.
Yeah, there were those days. I mean, when we first started, you know, we could do like one sandwich the whole day.
Really?
You can't pay bills with one sandwich. And you have staff and, you know, okay, you have some small savings. How long are your savings going to last? So, I mean, yeah, there were days where, there were even days where I thought, did I do the right thing in coming back home? Should I have stayed in the UK? So, yeah, there were those days. But I also think there were good days because when I actually went out to work, I did a part-time job as a copywriter for an advertising agency. I never worked for an advertising agency, and that gave me a lot of knowledge about the world of advertising, which I was then able to apply to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And also working with graphic designers, kind of coming up with concepts and being able to put things together. And as a business person, that was really valuable education. And I did it for a few years, and then I also realized that I needed to focus. So when the time came where I thought I need to quit that and focus. I did that because I would come in at like 12 and I'd be tired. You know, and so I'd have a few hours here, and then the next day I'm back in somebody else's space. And you know, sometimes you have to make those tough decisions. Yeah.
It must have been really challenging for you.
Yeah, but like I knew that I needed to focus. Because you know, you might have somebody here, but it's not their business, it's not their vision. So to expect them to be able to take it where you want it to go is too much to ask. You know, and sometimes people come into your vision and realize that they also have their own vision. You know, so I at some point, nobody had to tell me that I needed to quit and stay focused on this, and I don't regret it. I think it was a good decision.
Okay. All right, guys, you're still watching Just for Women Africa. Do not forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And today we are at Cuppa Cappuccino. I'm saying it very slow.
You're doing well. I'm impressed.
All right. So, okay, it's been 1997, times have flown by the 20s, we're now in 2022. A lot of things have happened over the last 3 years, one of which is COVID. COVID came as a surprise. It's affected everybody globally, health-wise, business-wise. And how has it affected Cuppa? I'm sure it was not something you planned for. During the time of the lockdown, that was in 2020, February, March. How has it been since then?
It's been good.
Okay, can you tell us more?
It's been good because I'm a person of faith, and I clearly understand that God kind of walked me through this period.
Okay.
Because there's no other way I can explain why it's been good. We've kept all our staff, except those that we wanted to go. And so the COVID provided a good opportunity to say goodbye to people that we felt did not share our vision as a business. But those that we wanted to move forward with, we managed. We had them coming in shifts. We bundled them into teams, football teams. So we had Man U, Chelsea. We kind of made it fun.
Okay.
So we had a schedule where maybe Man U would come for 2 weeks and Chelsea would come for another 2 weeks, just so that everybody would, at the end of the month, have something that they could live on.
Okay.
And then we also kind of changed the focus of the business to our takeaway section.
Okay.
Takeaway section became the focal point of the business because, of course, people were quite reluctant to come into the restaurant. And we also wanted to protect ourselves. So we kind of focused on speeding up our processes so that people wouldn't have to wait too long, because people were kind of edgy. People were a bit edgy. So we had to try and create a takeaway experience that was fast, efficient, friendly, safe. And, you know, by God's grace, we're still, you know, we had a good year.
That's a good story from COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had change processes, to be able to stay in business. So you didn't have to lay off staff, you didn't have to slash salaries or anything?
No, because people were working 2 weeks out of the month, obviously they would earn 2 weeks salary, but they would also be at home for 2 weeks, which meant that they wouldn't have to be commuting. You know, so you got your 2 weeks. We did that for maybe a few months. And then when we realized that the numbers were increasing, we went back to our normal 4 month for everybody. But yes, we did let some people go. Not necessarily because of COVID, but more to do with the fact that even before COVID, we were not really happy, or we didn't trust them. So it was like, okay, we're calling those that we want back, and then those that we were going to let go, we're going to let them go anyway.
Okay, so obviously things have picked up since the lockdown has been lifted.
Yes, things have picked up. Things have picked up. You know, the businesses are back. You know, our corporate clients are back. They're still having meetings. They're still ordering. Of course, with this new variant, we've had to shut down our indoor dining again. So we kind of go with what's going on. We kind of, because unless I'm not looking in the right places, there's really no direction. So as a business, you have to make your own decisions for your safety, for your family, your staff, and also your clients. So we're having to kind of make decisions based on what's going on. You know, and currently it seems like this is something that transmits very, very quickly.
Yeah, of course, when you know safety, you're talking of wearing the mask, social distancing, putting sanitizers around for staff and clients to come around.
But also the space, like where is the safest space? And I still, I mean, based on, you know, what we're reading and we're hearing, the outdoors is the safest space, really, because of the ventilation. It's all about ventilation. So even though we were really excited about seating people in the restaurant, you know, when this variant came in and we realized that, you know, it was transmitting very quickly, we had to make a decision to move people outside, you know, which means that now we also, which we always have, but the focus also is on the healing properties of outside spaces, which I think COVID has brought to bear, even though it always existed, that there's the sun, there's the fresh air, and we're blessed in this part of the world that we have good weather most of the time. So it seems a shame that we're not taking advantage of our outdoors, and that this pandemic's kind of forced us, you know. So one of our main thrusts for our campaigns on social media is outdoors and the healing properties of outdoors, and how beautiful you can make outdoors, where, you know, it's equivalent to sitting, you know, inside. Definitely. You know? So you've got the greenery, you've got good chairs, you know, you create a space that people don't mind the fact that they're outdoors, because ideally people want the air conditioning. Why, I don't know, but ideally people want the air conditioning.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your services for our international viewers who are not in Ghana. What exactly does Cuppa Cappuccino do? You do breakfasts?
Yes, we do breakfast. Our most popular and our best product is our sandwiches. We have over 25 sandwich fillings, and our sandwiches are, I mean, we get some really good reviews where our sandwiches are concerned. We also do like wraps, salads. We do a whole range of coffees, of course, cappuccino. We do smoothies. We cut down on our menu a little bit. We were doing like burgers. We don't do them anymore because we're also looking at things that had a quicker turnaround time. Like I said, we had to kind of adjust so that people wouldn't stay too long waiting for their food. So even though we initially were doing burgers were quite popular, we had to take it off the menu. But I would call them like light lunches or light meals, health conscious meals, but tasty. But we do have a small selection of hot meals. Our jollof is
good. Ghana jollof or Nigerian jollof?
We won't go there today. It's a new year. There's enough fighting over music over the Christmas, so we won't do jollof wars. But yeah, we do a really good jollof. We do a really good jollof, and that's to make those who want a slightly heavier lunch happy. You know, and it's gone very well. So That's the range of stuff that we're offering at the moment.
Okay, guys, you're still watching Just for Women Africa, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And today we're at Cuppa Cappuccino.
Yeah, not doing it. It gets better.
And we're with your name again?
Franka Maria Andoh.
Franka Maria Andoh, the CEO and founder of Cuppa Cappuccino. All right, so you've been around since 1997, we're in 2022. What's the future for Cuppa Cappuccino?
I think we want to do other things. I really like the hospitality business. It's something that's kind of close to my heart. So we want to look at other projects, and not necessarily in Accra.
Okay.
My current focus is Cape Coast.
Okay.
Because we're from the central region, we're from Elmina and Cape Coast, and I feel like it has a lot of potential.
Okay.
And I feel like Accra too is saturated.
Definitely.
So I like to go where people are not yet establish myself, and then they can catch up.
Okay.
Years later.
Days later.
Yeah. So that's kind of the focus at the moment. We're praying that this year we do our 25th anniversary. Maybe in December we'll be able to launch a couple of projects that we've been working on for the past couple of years, and kind of introduce our new products to the market.
Okay. So let me look at, so is Cape Coast up yet or about?
I beg your.
Is Cape Coast, has it started or it's something?
No, it's work in progress.
It's work in
We're
progress.
hoping that by the end of the year we should be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys out there, Cuppa Cappuccino, Cape Coast should be up, hopefully by the end of the year. And you can have great sandwiches, great coffee, great tea, time with friends and family. So to your clients out there who love Cuppa Cappuccino, February is a month of love. What message do you have for them?
I guess what I want to say is, well, firstly, thank you for being with us through this time, and still supporting our business. We really appreciate our clients. But also, since February is the month of love, to say that genuinely, sincerely, I love what I do. And I always tell people that you should love what you do, and whatever vision you have should be one of service. And I'm really blessed in that what I do is service. I serve people. It's how I pay my bills, but I serve people. So especially this year and the years coming, there are lots of broken people, there are lots of people who are hurting, and I think in whatever we do, we have to find a way to bring healing. We have to find a way to bring joy. We have to find a way to kind of spread the love around. So those are my few words to the clients.
Thank you, Franka, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure too.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching Just for Women Africa. We had Franka from Cuppa Cappuccino. She is the founder and the CEO of Cuppa Cappuccino. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you
for being on Just for Women Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Till the next show. It is bye.